Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. I welcome you to English grade 7 video lessons. I am Zia. I hope that you are doing well. My dear learners, let's talk about today's students' learning outcome and see how we can achieve it by the end of our lesson. So this is, as you know, we are dealing with Unit 5. We are talking about the competency of vocabulary. So let's see what SLO we are going to cover. This is our lecture 5 and our students learning outcome is explain the meaning of words from how they are used in different contexts. That is, use of contextual clues and identifying the word class the word belongs to. So what we are supposed to do is understand different unfamiliar words to identify their meaning, explaining their meaning from how they are used in different contexts. We will talk about what is a context and we will see how there are different kinds of contextual clues with examples, and we will also see that how we can identify the word class, which means what category the word belongs to in the parts of speech. Either it's a noun, it's a pronoun, it's a verb, etc. Now, this comes really easy, but our main focus will be on learning about context and contextual clues. So let's get started. Here you can see a vertical linkage of our current SLO with the previous grade's SLO parallel in the same way. Now, for your brainstorming session, before we begin the lesson, I need you to think about the lesson and come up with your answers. And our question is that what strategies, what ways you already use to figure out the meaning of unfamiliar words when you are not aware of those words. So when you are reading any text, fictional or non-fictional, if you are coming across unfamiliar words, how do you find them out? How do you find and explain the meaning of those words? You can come up with your answers. I hope that you are good readers, good students who can understand the text. So let's wait for your answers. You can pause the video and start discussing about it. Thank you for coming back. Now let's move on. Let's talk about context. Have you ever heard this word before? If not, let's revise it, let's clear it with a definition. So context, it actually refers to the surrounding information that helps us understand the meaning of a word or phrase. Now, context in terms of reading is the surrounding of the text and the information that is surrounded, that is covered, that particular word which we are explaining or finding the meaning of. It could be a word or a phrase. So when you are finding out about such unfamiliar words, all you need to do is look at the surrounding, look at the environment of the whole text, how different sentences, different words clear out the meaning and explanation of that specific word that is under discussion or that specific phrase that is under discussion. So we have to look at the whole context, and context means the surrounding and the surrounding information. Now we are clear about the context. Context is very important when you are finding unfamiliar words, meaning or explanation, and for that purpose we use some context or contextual clues. Clues are your hints that you get in order to reach to the right meaning. Now context clues are hints that an author gives to help define a difficult word. The clue may appear within the same sentence where the word has been used, or it may follow in the next sentence. Now you can find that context clue in the same sentence. You have to just look at the context, or it could be in the same paragraph on the same page. So you have to look at the whole context of the topic under discussion to find out the meaning about that word. Now, these clues and these hints are very important. Let's see how many kinds of them are there. Now, before moving on, if you have read the text of Unit 5, you can see that the word unlock here is used in the text on page 44. Now, this is used in the context of Sara Qureshi's groundbreaking and amazing creation. Here, the word unlock means to open up or reveal the potential or possibilities of something. It does not mean to unlock a lock. It means to unlock or reveal the potential or possibilities of something. And the dictionary meaning of unlock, if you look in the dictionary, is to open or release a lock or something that is locked. Now, but if you look at the context of this lesson, you can see that unlock means unlocking and revealing the possibilities and the potential of something or someone. Now, again, the phrase in the text, making wonders happen. Now, what does it mean? This is used to describe the significant and important achievements and extraordinary accomplishments of women in various fields such as sports, IT, science, and business. Now, here, making wonders happen means they are making this happen, they are achieving it, which apparently, generally, it is seen to be and called to be impossible. So, they are doing a wondrous job. So, here the phrase making wonders happen means that they are doing so many achievements and works that seem to be impossible. So, the phrase here means that according to the whole context. So, you have to read the whole sentence, the whole paragraph sometimes in order to unlock, in order to identify that hidden phrase, that unknown word or phrase. Now, let's look at an example over here. It says she was ecstatic to be in school, which means she was happy to be there. Now, can you spot the difficult word? Yes, it is ecstatic. Now, how do you define this word? Assume that you may have not heard about this word before. So, how do you reach to the right meaning? Yes, we have to look at the whole context. Can we spot the meaning of the word ecstatic? Ecstatic means happy to be there. Ecstatic means happy. Now, the sentence itself is giving us a clue about the word ecstatic, which leads us to the meaning that it is a positive word and it means similar like happiness or being happy. Now, this is how we reach to that unknown word using the context. Here we use the context of definition because we are getting it in the same sentence. Now, let's see how many different context clues are there. Now, knowing about these different types is very important because there are different kinds of hints in the text. So, we need to be very well aware of those context clues in order to identify our unknown word. They are definition, example, synonym, and antonym. Now, let's look at them one by one with examples to understand that how they work. Now, the definition context clue is when the meaning of the word is directly stated in the text. This is just what we did in the previous slide when we were finding the definition and meaning of the word ecstatic. Here, the sentence actually contains the definition of climate change. Now, let's look at this example. Climate change, which refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns, results in changes to ecosystems and the environment. Now, what are the context clues that we used over here? It is of definition. How? Because climate change, this word, this term or phrase is giving its definition in the same sentence, it means long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. Now this part is telling us about the word climate change. Now the definition is given in the text itself that clarifies the meaning of that word. Let's talk about example context clues. The author provides examples that help illustrate the meaning of the word. For example, the meager meal consisted only of bread and cheese. What does the word meager means over here? Now, let's look at the context. The meal is consisting only of bread and cheese. Bread and cheese is a very minimum and limited food. So it means that the word meager would mean something like something which is very specific, very limited, not too big or too large. So it means it is something which is very small and limited. So the example itself told us about the meaning of the unfamiliar word. Again, celestial bodies such as the sun, moon and stars are governed by predictable laws. Now what do you mean by the word celestial? It's telling us that celestial bodies are actually these bodies such as sun, moon and stars. So celestial means something up in the sky. Bodies like the sun, the moon, the stars, they are called celestial. Moving on with the synonym context clues. So in this type of context clue, there is another word in the text that has a similar meaning. This is why we call it synonym context clue. To the unknown word, the synonym for the term extinction is in this sentence. Now the sentence is, the effects of climate change could lead to the extinction or complete eradication of certain species on this planet. Now, the word extinction is our main unfamiliar word. Can you see a synonym of that word in this sentence? Good. Let's reveal the answer. Now, it says that the synonym is eradication. That is also mentioned in the same sentence. So extinction means eradication, when we eradicate or remove something, or something is removed or eradicated. Now let's talk about antonyms. Just like we use synonyms for the context clue, now we will be using the contrasting words, the antonyms, to reach to the right meaning. Now here, this context clue is when there is another word in the text that means the opposite as the unfamiliar word. For example, whereas some regions are experiencing prolonged droughts, there are other areas across the globe that are enduring devastating floods. Now, the word under discussion is droughts. Now this word, can you guess the meaning of this word using the opposite word or the contrasting word? Good. Now that word is floods. Flood is when we know there is plenty of water and so much extra water, but the opposite meaning is drought, when there is no water at all. The lack of and shortage of water is called drought. Now, after learning about these different kind of context clues, you can see this on this slide, a simulation video. You can play it later on to learn more about context clues and how you can easily build a skill of using these context clues in your reading comprehension. Now, this is your classroom activity where you will be finding out about the word turbulence in the sentence. Now, you can see the revealed answer over here. This is a definition context clue that is used in turbulence. Now you have to work on it, find that how does it contain a definition context clue. Here is another one. Now, for the worksheet, all you need to do is find out about these words that are mentioned over here, their word class, are they adjectives, are they prepositions, are they adverbs, etc., and explain your answer, that how did you reach to the conclusion of finding the meaning of the word. Now, for your homework, you have to write the contextual meaning of the following words that are given over here and phrases and compare them with the meaning given in the dictionary. You will be needing a dictionary for doing this activity. You have to identify the word class of each word and label it, that what part of speech does it belong to. Now, all these resources are available in the description of the video. You can access them easily. My dear learners, thank you for listening. I hope that now we have increased our reading comprehension. We talked about different context clues. First, we talked about what is context, then different context clues with examples. We did some activities to identify different context clues with examples. I'll see you in the next video lesson. Allah Hafiz.